What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling amazing today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here where we are in for an amazing journey. So, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void, of course, is all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force reading on a situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Mercury Day. Mercury's out to play. Just great thinking energy all around here, Cancer. And then, of course, it is because the moon's in Gemini there, Cancer. And with the moon being in Gemini, this is a very curious place for the moon to be in. This is a great energy if you need to do any sort of any sort of studying or want to take on a new course of learning or just need to process a lot of information there, Cancer. Gemini energy is great for that. Thank you. And even too, Cancer, I'm just thinking about with Gemini being a sign of duality. This is a great energy, kind of similar to Libra in the sense of being able to see things from different angles there. So this is really good kind of mediating type of energy there, Cancer. Maybe if there's some kind of dissonance in your groups or amongst them working things, you kind of think outside the box there. But also, Gemini is a very communicative sign as well. They're communicators of the Zodiac. Always chatting, my moon's in Gemini, and I'm always a talking. But this is a great energy for if you want to connect with people, whether it be friends, family, loved ones, or even doing some networking, maybe in business, Cancer, maybe some sort of creative collaboration, however that's looking like, Cancer. And also very inventive energy too, so really for you to get stuff just cooking up there, Cancer. Good for travel as well. But also, we are in the waning gibbous phase. And with this energy, Cancer, this is a great energy for kind of internal reflection. We're just getting out of that full moon energy and just really kind of think about how what you've been working on has, hopefully raised your vibration in a sense, and then to really appreciate the really tangible change there and just kind of give back as far as to the universe. I feel sending these energies of gratitude and appreciations and things and just kind of keep you in that abundant type of energy there, Cancer. But this also is a great energy for just I think that's all I had to say. Oh, for meditation as well. To kind of reflect on what you want to get started for this lunar cycle. You don't have to have it locked down yet, but just doing some internal reflection and just thinking about where it is, what other areas that we think we may need to heal in, Cancer. And then last a little bit, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, we're about to change up this Oracle deck here soon there, Cancer, so that's exciting. But I've included links for now I'm going to have to include more links down in the description as well. Nature, my problem. But definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that are watching, Cancer, so definitely check them out. Very cool group. I think you enjoy them. But let's get into your general energy of the day. Look at you singing with the energies. I love when you do that, Cancer, because you got the first card of Gemini's here, which is Sapphire card. Just all this thinking. And with this card, this is a card of mental force, spiritual insight, hope and faith, wise judgment, power and strength, kindness, life of the party, extroverted, motivate, precious, valued, holy, divine favor, and revered. And the energy that's coming through here, and I like that, Cancer, is kindness. I feel with some of this energy, when we're going through these lunar cycles and, working on this, on ourselves, or even just going through life in general, Cancer, I feel for one, making sure just to kind of check where your mind's at. If you find yourself sometimes, because, we're an energy that can be rooted in the past, and, maybe we may have some times where some things may come up, that some may not so positive things, and that gets us in this negative loop. We start maybe beating ourselves up, or maybe even if it's not something that we're personally, maybe self-deprecating, maybe we even pain. It's even, sometimes we might think about how maybe others may have wronged you, Cancer. And I feel like when you get in that type of energy where it's easy to just kind of sling that, just kind of like that, because I'm thinking with how glib Gemini energy can be, to kind of just sling that negative vibrations, like maybe like anger, hate, things along those lines. And not to say that they're not necessary, Cancer. All these emotions that you're feeling are valid, but it's just like we want to get down to the source of that. And I feel like we want to make sure that we are keeping balance in the sense and counteracting that stuff with kindness as well. And I feel like that's hard on both ends, whether it's to yourself, because sometimes it's easy just to kind of like, even in like a joking sense, it's just like, oh, I can be, oh, that was so, what I did was so stupid, or I was doing this or doing that, just like the little small things. I know that's like doing a lot, Cancer, but like those shifts in mindsets really do have a powerful way to adjust your manifesting. And even when we're talking about for others, even if we have been maybe wronged or things along those lines, you can still approach that where I may not, instead of saying like, in a sense, like maybe they've been, maybe like, why are you this or why are you that? It's more so just like, why are you acting this way? You're so much better than this, and that way it's like we're still keeping the energies up, but we're acknowledging more so the action than the actual, than putting that on another person possibly, because we're all connected, Cancer. And it's like when you're slinging stuff at someone else, that it does, it can do just as much damage to you as it is doing to another person. And just like, I feel like keeping the kindness kind of flowing there. And again, it's not that we're just ignoring these more kind of harder emotions. It's just like, but as we do want to be careful about just staying stuck in that kind of like that anger, frustration, whatever that's looking like, maybe even sadness and things, and just like making sure there's that duality that's happening there, Cancer. Very interesting. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. All right, Cancer. Let's see what's going on here. Speaking of balance, look at all this happiness, Cancer. I like it. So you have the Temperance card, the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and then the Four of Stars here, Cancer. And I feel like with this, Cancer, let's start with the Four of Stars. Oh, and Cancer, the stars in this deck are Pentacles, and then the crystals in this deck are Swords. And I feel like that, Cancer, again, is just being careful about how your mindset is. If you find yourself, maybe you have been here recently, or if you find yourself in the future, you know, getting really kind of just steeped in this energy. Like, I feel like that because this figure here, I'm not sure if you can see if you see their face. There's this anger, or this looks like there's this energy of anger. There's something here that we're being kind of fixated on, that's really kind of locked in. It's just keeping us shackled in a sense, because I feel like when we're not finding that balance of incorporating that kindness and kind of yeah, putting those good vibrations there, Cancer, it really does affects your balance, and like how things balance out, and affects your ability to manifest. And I feel like it even keeps you from just kind of seeing the bigger picture of things. Because I feel like, especially if this is something that maybe has been kind of playing out in your head as of late, there may be this energy just to just give it a little more space and allow ourselves to feel that and just kind of really process that. Because the Queen of Wands, because she's giving me this energy, this impulsive, this sort of like very rash, very sort of like it's just like she's thrown around a lot of heat. And I feel that there's this energy of just needing to, especially if we've been feeling this like, and it's like giving like this just this fire, this inner fire that's going on with the Queen of Wands. And yeah, just being mindful of that kind of their Cancer. But I'm even getting with this energy too of not just keeping this energy with yourself, but kind of spreading that around as well. Maybe there it could be something as simple as extending a smile to a stranger, or just like doing a pleasantry, good day, and it doesn't even have to be anything in depth. Cancer, super. Do you have to have like a crazy conversation or anything like that? But I feel like the more kindness we can kind of spread around amongst the soul tribe, that even if that only affects a person for a moment, that's a moment where, because they could have been having any sort of type of day, maybe life has been kind of down, maybe however that's looking. And then you bring in that sunlight. Cancer, you bring in that, just even a simple thing as like, maybe talking with like your, maybe when you're at the store, happen to go through grocery line, just seeing how, hey, how's your day going, or just maybe holding the door open for someone, or it just like really. And I feel like that too, Cancer, gets you in the space of like appreciating the little things as well there. Hmm. Let's see what else we got there, Cancer. Oh, look at that Emperor popping out there. Thank you. All right, Cancer. So you also have the Emperor here, and then the Queen of Stars. And Cancer, that's interesting with the Emperor being here. But I feel that it just feels like that if we were to really get into, and it's not that you're not already kind there, Cancer, but I feel like just being mindful of how kindness, how far and what an impact that can really have. Random little story here, Cancer. I just had a so I have this little side gig at this bar, and I was talking with someone just kind of just on a whim, just wanted to see if they wanted some water, and just kind of we got to talking about just a couple kind of like intense topics, sort of, but not really, nothing super extensive. We can really get into it because I ended up having to step away. But right towards the end, the person came out and found me, and then left me a really, really generous tip, and it was very, very, very generous. And it just like, and that hit me in a way, Cancer, because it's just like I feel like sometimes we can forget how far kindness, how far that can go. and and just like how giving without the expectation of receiving anything. I'm even kind of getting like because that's very fire energy. Like that, like Temperance here, Sagittarius, Aries, the Emperor. Even I'm getting like Leo energy as well. The Strength card is coming through, but it feels like this Emperor is just like he's bringing in a. It's like how Aries does, brings in the spring, and I feel like that, like it's. And just pay attention to how this affects your resources, Cancer. How the abundance. It's like there's a shift in the air once you get comfortable in that energy of just like this sort of giving energy. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be where you're just giving your money away or donating to it. But if that's something you're into, I mean, have at it, Cancer. But just like even just like maybe even like I volunteer. I don't know, Cancer, like volunteering to ask like for help or to help someone, or whatever that's looking like, Cancer. Random acts of kindness. I like it. Let's get some Earth Terror on this. Cancer, this could even too. Even extending kindness to just, we don't have to extend it to just people, even to like to, well, animals, as it makes sense, like you know what I mean, Cancer. But even like animals, even if we can't interact with them, maybe even just sending them, acknowledging their presence, or even to like plants there, Cancer. Just something to think about there. Oh, interesting. All right, Cancer, shifting gears a little bit, because you have the Five of Cups, the Five of Crystals, and then the Three of Wands here. And I don't want to start. So with the Five of Crystals here, Cancer, I feel like you see how like it's like she's keeping all these crystals to herself, and these others are kind of walking away here. They look a little distraught here. I feel like that's kind of what happens when we're just kind of just slinging around like negative energies just kind of mindlessly. Because I remember really being in my kind of Gemini energy, I always had a comment to say about someone walking down the street, whether this be this person, that person, or just always had thoughts to share, whether it be negative or positive. And sure, they may have been funny in a sense, but it's just like, it was questionable sometimes, and I feel like that it's like it's one of those things. I feel like with the Five of Crystals, you make I might need to get a little more on this to kind of find these words, but it's like you never know how your actions or your words, whether they're seen or not, can affect that affects the vibration in the long term here, Cancer. And I even feel that for some that there may even be more so like a struggle, like I feel like when it comes to doing this for others, especially if we've had those who maybe had brought up some sort, because I feel like the thing with cancers, it's like when we don't feel emotionally secure around us, around a person, I feel like that's hard to get back into Cancer's good graces. And I feel like in order to kind of lighten that up a little bit, Cancer, again, it's like I feel like it's not putting, let's say if someone did something, almost getting like maybe like a Ten of Swords, or like a, and it's not necessarily forgetting the action, but it is forgiving the person in a sense. It gives them that opportunity to. It's a different mindset, Cancer, because I feel like when we put it on a person, it just that energy just constantly lingers. Then they embody that maybe that hatred or that anger or that frustration or whatever that sadness, whatever that is. And again, I feel like as opposed to if we were to let go of, put it on the action rather than a situation or a person, then that helps us see that, okay, we may not like this thing here, but we can at least, how do we go from there. There's still, that life still is turning, and there's still more. It's like even this Three of Wands is giving me this a sense of relief in a sense. It's just like kind of lightening up this journey. Like it's kind of like this person is like seeing this canvas here, this setting in front of them in a new type of perspective here, Cancer. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, Cancer. That's an interesting energy that's coming through there. Alrighty, let's get some of this thinking here, Cancer. Let's get some advice from Mercury. Thank you. Alright, Cancer. Last little bit here. I like that, Cancer. Oh, and there. Oh, interesting, Cancer. Divine counterparts coming through here. Emperor and Empress. So clearly you got the Empress there, Cancer. And then you have the Eight of Cups. Oh, and I like how those two came out. And the Hanged Man here, Cancer. And let's switch back over. Because I feel like with this, Cancer, however this kindness may, however we may need to express this energy here, Cancer, I do feel that it is it is leading to you when we get again more in that practice. It does help you to get to your highest vibration, because you got the Empress here, Venus, and then you have the Hanged Man, Neptune energy. And Neptune is the higher vibration of Venus. Where it's like it's taking that love that the Empress can give, and then it broadens. Neptune has a universal love for all. And I feel like it is paying attention to that universal compassion that Neptune brings, and how it's just like, the Empress is abundant in all forms, and I feel like she's like, it's taking this abundance of kindness and things, and higher vibrations, and just spreading that energy around, and see how that changes your perspectives, how you operate in life, Cancer, how you're communicating with others. And it's not to say that people aren't gonna piss you off from time to time, they're Cancer, but I feel that it helps to, I feel like it helps you to, when you catch yourself, we're not just staying in that loop for that long, because again, that affects you when it's affecting that vibration in a way. It does limit your abundance, and it does can affect your mental health, can affect your spiritual health, your physical health. And but I do feel like it's a new perspective is kind of coming in with this, Cancer, as you do get into more of this practice. And yeah, I like that, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, I dig it. So hopefully that resonated with you, Cancer, spreading all this kindness around. And if you like that, excuse me, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer. Share the love. Let's spread some kindness around, and even not just even just this video, Cancer. Just spread around to your fellow Cancerian, to your just fellow Zodiac. Just again, just raise that vibration through the roof. I really like that, Cancer. And then subscribe there, your emperors, empresses. Hit that bell button, get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit, Cancer, check your sun, your moon, your rising, your Mercury, your Venus. Venus is here, your Neptune. Why not, Cancer? Mine's in Capricorn. Interesting place for Neptune. And and then go check out my other channel. This is what happens. Well, check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos, monthly ones, yearly ones, and I'm about to do some. Got some decks coming in, Cancer, and I'm excited. We're gonna be getting switching some stuff up here soon. So, the housekeeping, it's down in the description box below. So, but let me get you surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Oh, look at that, Cancer. I like that. We're getting 2 today. So we got the 9 of Wands, and then there's that Strength card. I like that, Cancer. You know what? I like this too, because you got all 3 of the fire signs here. And I feel like with this 9 of Wands and this Strength card that this 9 of Wands is giving me this energy of, because when we're thinking about kindness, and when we're not feeling so kind and things, it's like I don't feel like necessarily people choose to be in that energy. It's just that, something has happened. I feel like, with life, this experience and things that kind of weighs down on us. There can be so much negativity that can just kind of beat us down and just really kind of sap away from your strength and energy there, Cancer. But I like this Strength card here, because I love that it's like she's this, there's a tenderness here that's happening between these two, and that's what I feel like these energies are trying to get you, Cancer, to do, and kind of help the soul tribe, in a sense, kind of harmonize a little bit better, no matter what differences we may have, because I feel like we all are trying to, in the grand scheme, get to our highest vibrations. And I feel like too, just with all this fire energy coming through, it's like, because now the Emperor's kind of making a lot more sense in this. It's just like, being the one to take charge, to bring to bring that heat, to bring that inspiration, to get others just like, oh, look at them spreading this kindness. Maybe I'll do the same. That helped me feel a lot better. Maybe I'll do that for the next person, and I'll feel better. And then just hoping that down the line that becomes more of a thing, and it just keeps growing, just keeps happening there, Cancer. I like that. Well, let's get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Yeah, I love that the strength came up here. And look at that, Venus in Leo. Venus is in Leo for a little while longer. I think she's moving here soon, Cancer. But, alright, Cancer, let's see what's going on here. And I like that. Highest husband generous with the surprise cards. I love it. Oh, Cancer, look at this. What's a little more? This is a nice little ending here. Because you got the 14th card here, which is the hibiscus card. I want to say it's temperance energy, 14. Love that. But this is the joy card, Cancer. And this is ruled by Venus and Pluto. See how you're syncing up with the energies, Cancer? And I feel like that's what's happening. Ooh, even just thinking about that. It's like, you see these hummingbirds here? The hummingbirds, their wings vibrate at such a high frequency there, Cancer. I feel like that's what you're doing. You're going through like a hummingbird, and you're bringing joy and kindness and happiness, and just raise that vibration through the roof, Cancer. But I also like here too. It's like these phases of her that are happening here. It's like at first she wasn't sure how this, getting in the practice of it, getting a little more comfortable with it. I even think she's starting to, but now it's like now that she's gotten more intentional with her words here. It's like her words and her breath and things are even making flowers bloom in a sense there, Cancer, and that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. And I like that this too. Venus dealing with relationship and, love. It's like taking that love and things and using that power of love that Pluto brings, the power. And, the power and like the power of the Empress, in a sense, that Emperor-Empress energy, and how that can transform, just how it can transform, Cancer. I really love that. Thank you look at this energy that you bring me, Cancer. I love that. I'm going to raise the vibration for somebody else there, Cancer. Just keep this trend going. So hopefully you do the same. But you stay safe out there, Cancer. Spreading all this love, joy, and just exuberant energy. I love this. You keep eyes on the moon. She appreciates that. Send some love the moon's way, Cancer. She's always given for us, and I feel like we can give back and just take a moment and two, just thank the universe. Maybe every day before you get started checking your phone and things, just like, I appreciate the abundance that I have in my life on my journey, and I feel like a wonderful way to kind of start your day off there, Cancer. So a little something to think about, but you stay safe. Oh, I already did that, Cancer. I think that's it. So yeah, say we're keeping eyes on the moon, and I will catch you, as I go off strip, on the next one tomorrow.